delicious.
This time we're going to make some potatoes au gratin. A little bit different than some people's, I guess. This happens to be my take on it. First, I'm going to dice up the bacon, get it ready. Sliced up my bacon. Going to set it to the side for a minute. Next, we're going to dice up the garlic and onions. I do my garlic, I just cut the ends off of it. Put the knife over it, give it a good smack. That takes the skin off of it, starts the process. Got one medium onion. We're going to get started with the potatoes. Two schools of thought here. Some like the skin, some don't. I happen to not, so I peel mine. Okay, we're going to start slicing our potatoes and getting them ready. Ways you can do this. If you got a food processor, you can slice them with a knife. You can use a grater, the blades on the side work well. I use a mandolin. I like mine a little bit thinner. I've got the thin blade in my mandolin. Most of the mandolins will come with a thin or thick blade. Cut them down to manageable pieces to the square side. These slices come out about, I don't know, about 1/8 of an inch thick. You can see I've got them rinsed, got them in the bowl with some salt water. It just starts pulling some of that starch out. Sauteing our bacon and our vegetables and everything else. I always start with a little bit of olive oil. Doesn't take a lot. The bacon's going to render a lot of grease. The crispier, the better. While we're doing this, please don't forget to like, follow, and share. Your support is everything to me. I appreciate it. If you have questions, ask questions. The goal here is to get to 1,000 so that we can go live with some of this. I can't say enough about the band of spices. They are great. The fat's going to help that roux or bechamel, whichever way you want to call it, in the end to thicken it up a little bit when you start adding cheese and cream and your chicken stock. As you can see, the bacon is starting to get crispy. At this point, I add my garlics and onions. Some people say don't put it in there because it's going to fry it. Put it in and stir it real quick. It's not going to fry it. It'll start marrying those flavors. You just cook it until your onions become somewhat translucent. As you can see how it's starting to get all together. Add a little bit of parsley. You can see we're reserving all that oil and that from the bacon fat and everything else. That's what we're going to use to make the base of our roux or our bechamel to start our cheese sauce. About there. Bacon is nice and rendered. Just some AP flour. The general rule of thumb is 1 and 1. Make sure at this point you cook it a little bit to cook that flour so you don't get that flour taste. See how it's thickened up? I'm getting a little condensed. At this point I'm going to take a little bit of my wine. Just a little bit. I like the acid in it. Start with our chicken stock. Great value chicken broth. Bring it back up a little bit. I went back up to medium. I'm going to add my heavy whipping cream. At this point I'm going to start adding my spices before I add my cheese. White pepper. Like I said, cheese sauces and creams and stuff, you want to use white pepper. It's good flavor. I like a little bit more onion, so I put a little bit more onion powder in. We'll put some guidelines on the thing. Little garlic powder, some Tonys. This stuff is great. And then I like a little smoked paprika in mine. Start mixing this up. This is a great value, 4 cups. Save you some to put on the top. You can see the cheese is all melting together. It's getting nice and gooey. Okay. At this point, I'm going to turn the heat off. Basically, I'm going to put some potatoes in. Going to ladle some of my cheese sauce right on top. And it's ready for the oven. You're going to bake it 350, 30 to 45 minutes. You'll know when it's done. When it starts to getting brown and bubbly, then you're going to put some cheese on top of it. So all bubbly out of the oven, ready to be served.